Alright, so everybody chose their top 2 shows after killing each other. And we're going to start off with Subhash.
Mine's a pretty boring answer, but it's a staple. Friends and Seinfeld.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air and The Real World.
Nice.
Got it. Alright.
Boy Meets World and Oz.
I'm going to go with Law and Order,
Mhm.
and I'm going to go with Legends of the Hidden Temple. Those
Yes.
are my two.
So
Yes.
good.
And then I'm going to do Will and Grace and Frasier. But I'm also going to do complete veto as well. And not a veto, but like I'm going to take one of your shows and include ER on it because I just find that, one, a crime. But two, it's also because we're incredibly low on dramas. And we need to like pump up the drama.
Alright.
Typically how we do it, we start off with reality. It is between The Real World and Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh.
I would say pick The Real World.
I'm about to say The Real World, and because the Legends of the Hidden Temple was my choice, I will fight for The Real World because that at that point in time, it really shifted the culture. Like, that was like, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like, that was the very tip of the iceberg of reality TV.
Yeah.
But it perfectly encapsulates the 90s. So if anyone goes to watch The Real World, who's like, what was the 90s like? It's that right there. I also think it's important to have an MTV show represented because MTV in the 90s was so crucial.
I'm going to start off with drama. Let's do Law and Order, Oz, ER.
I will fight for Oz because I think it was such a revolutionary show for, you could argue that Oz and how many lines or boundaries it pushed and how graphic it was, how intense it was, started off all these other shows that you see now like Breaking Bad, Sopranos, The Wire, oh my gosh, Shame, any of these shows that pushed that dramatic boundary pretty much came off of the success of Oz because it was the first one of its kind.
I would say ER, even though Oz was the OG in terms of that kind of show.
Yeah.
ER was sort of what the most people watched it. It was a popular show. It defined the medical drama genre kind of thing.
Sure.
But
More than St. Elsewhere, probably. Yeah.
But to kind of beeline off of that, if we're talking about something that spawns like a mass, like Law and Order spawns like 10,000 other franchises of Law and Order, so it's kind of like a...
That was a cultural phenomenon.
That was a cultural, like a shift, like
So that means
Law and Order, Criminal Intent, SVU, like it was just a lot.
But the only line I put down there is that Law and Order, the only reason that it's big to us is because that is easily syndicated, while ER isn't. And so I feel like just in today's culture, we might view Law and Order just more, also because it's still on. And so I think we have a bigger attachment to that as opposed to ER, which ended and like we don't ever see that because it's not a very syndicated friendly type show.
I would
But
pick ER.
ER.
I'm also going to go with ER.
It's valid arguments.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Oz, but
I think
ER
that
makes sense.
Oz, you're right, is one of those innovators, but when we're talking about represents the 90s,
Yeah.
it
ER.
wasn't there yet.
Plus George Clooney.
Yes.
Like, and Juliana
So
Margulies,
many
so many
people
people came
came
from
out from
ER.
it.
Now, here are the comedies. Now, I kind of divided it up because I couldn't really classify Boy Meets World into anything, but if there's anything close, I kind of had like the adult comedies and the adult comedies as well, but could also be younger.
Family.
Yeah,
Little
so...
family style
And
stuff.
so I did, so I have Boy Meets World versus Fresh Prince.
What? Not fair. Not fair at all. I veto that.
Both of
No.
them. Those are the two that need to go with.
Yes.
Wait, what is their other option for adult comedies?
Because
Frasier?
the reason why is because Fresh Prince and Boy Meets World definitely skews
Oh,
younger.
Happened in high school.
Yeah, like they skew younger. But at the same time, they are more targeted towards anybody that's a teenager up. While a Seinfeld, Friends, and Will and Grace are adults.
20-somethings.
Yeah, that's way older. So you have to divide comedies that way.
There cannot be a choice between the two, and this is why. Boy Meets World had Topanga and Corey, who were, you had Saved by the Bell, they were cool kids, and Screech was the nerd that was made fun of, and yet, now in Boy Meets World, here are two kids that are just like everybody else growing up. Topanga made you believe that weird people could be accepted, and she was my hero and my idol, and Corey was adorable, and you watched them grow up. Fresh Prince, Will Smith, I can see Dennis' facial expression without even having to see Dennis' facial expression. Will Smith, Carlton, these are, I mean, it's Will Smith, one. And this was a family that had legitimate issues. They were basically adopting a nephew as a son, and he's from a whole different class than they are, so there's that class tension that's there. he's also bringing comedy into it, and you grew up wanting to see these characters. There's no way for me to choose. I cannot.
I am going, like, I watched both series growing up, but I will say Fresh Prince was like an impact because that episode, I don't know if you guys remember that episode,
the
gun.
Oh my god.
Oh, the gun.
And
The
the
gun.
father.
And the dad
Oh,
episode.
the
The
dad
dad
episode.
episode. That's
I
my
cried.
favorite. The
Yeah.
dad
We
episode
did not-
was crazy.
That kind of dialogue is
That was
unmatched
yeah, that
and
was amazing.
unrivaled. I think that my vote is definitely Fresh Prince.
Yes.
Okay. So
In
2 for
terms
Fresh
of-
Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Since the 2 people who need to vote are just choosing not to, but need to eventually, I'm going to choose, for me, Fresh Prince because I think that what you mentioned, like, Boy Meets World as a series is great and definitely has that impact on you, but I think it's more of an impact just over the development of the characters. There are a few episodes where I remember and I go like, oh, of course
Sean
that's my favorite
Hunter.
one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Or
at
Sean
the
and Angela.
yeah, well, even Sean, like, see, like, all those things, I feel
Interracial
like,
couple on children's TV.
yes, and that's, and, well, okay, it's children's TV, they were in college, and at that point we were in high school, so it's a little bit more developed than that. But I think that those are issues, but, like, again, there's no, like, episode about that. That's, like, over a course of a season, and that's why it was powerful, and I get that. But when I think of Fresh Prince, there is a staple episode, which got me, which was the dad episode.
Yeah,
the
dad
the gun
episode
episode.
is
And so,
I just got chills.
and the fact that that's what I remember over anything Boy Meets World's done, and I remember how I feel watching Boy Meets World as overall as a series, but it's not as strong as, even though I may not like Fresh Prince as much as I like Boy Meets World, I never feel that way with any other series than I have with Fresh Prince.
Boy Meets World is like a nostalgia trip, but I feel like Fresh Prince is required reading for the 90s.
Yeah.
Required reading for the 90s.
Yeah.
Good line.
Hey!
I like that a lot. Yeah, so it's 4 on.
Well, I mean, fine.
Ups.
I forget it. We can't include both, apparently.
No, we can. We still have other categories we still have to go to, and it can still make it. But you have to have that conversation.
Fine.
If you keep it down, Fresh Prince of Boy Meets World.
I will go with Fresh Prince now, but you better know when we bring up Boy Meets World.
So now you have adult comedies. You have Seinfeld, you have Friends, you have Will and Grace, and you have Frasier.
Friends and Seinfeld. Easy. If those 2 shows don't make this list, then this list is a complete fraud.
I will agree. Friends and Seinfeld, just because I may not personally like Friends, but Friends was an iconic.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
they made they each negotiated $1 million
Per episode.
They
episode
set the bar
contract.
for that.
Like,
Nobody
what?
did that before them as a group, and now look at Big Bang Theory following in their footsteps.
Yeah.
Like, they set a bar.
I remember growing up, I was like 11 or 12, and my cousin was maybe 16 or 17. No, she was 18, and she was watching Friends when it was on, and it was airing all the way in India, and she got all the jokes, and I that's when I remembered when I moved here, I was like, that show was so huge, it had a massive impact. People in India were watching it, like, you know, and like, there was no, you know, they don't get the most references, I would think, but they still did. I mean, so I guess the writing was good.
All right, so then we have our top 5 list. We have Seinfeld, Friends, ER, Fresh Prince, and The Real World. And so with that, let's rank them.
Can we go from like high school to being in your 20s? So it's kind of like you watch Fresh
You're
Prince
literally
first,
growing up in the
You're
90s.
growing up.
Yeah.
and
I
then
like
you move
that.
up to your, you know, you're moving to the city. Now you're in like Friends, like you know,
Now
you're
you got
watching
roommates.
Friends.
So,
So
Fresh
Friends,
Prince,
and then
Friends.
Real
Then
World.
Yeah.
Then Real World. Then Seinfeld.
Then Seinfeld.
Because you hate people.
Because now you hate
Yeah,
people.
You want
because-
to
Then
end off on ER?
You want to end on ER?
Oh,
I
we
say
cannot
no.
end on a low, honey. We gotta end
No,
on a high.
I think ending on ER is good though, because ER is kind of a soap opera, and you don't like watching like really intense drama.
Okay,
that is-
actually, here's what I think. Real World, they get sick, they get messed up, they need to go to a hospital.
Right.
So they go to ER.
They go to ER, and then after that you get, okay, there's too much drama, I need some funny,
Yeah.
cynical funny Seinfeld.
Boom. there
Thank
it
you.
is.
Because
Yeah.
I'm like, you cannot end on ER.
And you can
That
only
is-
appreciate Seinfeld after you've gone through a bit of life, you know. Then,
Yeah.
All right, finally, we got our top 5. Number 1, Fresh Prince. Number 2, Friends. Number 3, Real World. Number 4, ER. Number 5, Seinfeld.
That's
Thank goodness.
that was an intense.
We were about to lose friendships
You're
off
gonna
this
go with
list.
us.
They
It's
were
gotta
about to
be
be dead.
that. Top 5 lists are hard, man.
They're
They're
very
not
hard.
supposed
So
to be
difficult.
easy.
But this was a good top 5. Like what we ended up with was a really good top 5 list
Top
for the
five.
90s.
I
Yes.
think so too.
This has been the top 5 shows if you're from the 1990s. If you like what we did, please make sure that you like this video. This was so intense, so we know you like this because you're at the end of the video, so like it, for gosh darn it. Also, make sure you subscribe because we have more videos like this all along here. And along with that, we have our podcast on Mondays. We actually expand on all this stuff. I guarantee you next Monday, we're going to definitely have a conversation about this. Along with that, we also have our live show on Wednesday. So, come on, just subscribe. Just do it. There's too much stuff going on. Just, God, we work so hard to make you laugh. And we also like each other. And so, you know, we want to keep the band together. Yeah, that's important.
Don't break up the band.
Don't break up the band. For Subhash, for Melissa, for Alex, and for Denim, I'm just Mwamba. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.